Hey guys, so this is my second video. This is going to be the introduction to my story. Like I told you prior in my introduction, it's going to be like in sections because they're so long. But okay, so I take this issue very seriously. Um, please, no negativity. Please, please, please. I'm just trying to help somebody that needs help. Um, okay, so where would I start? Okay, when I was 16, I was in high school. I met this guy, and to be honest, I really didn't even like him. Like, it was just like, whatever. Like, I'm still like a young girl that's playing with Barbies and worried about sleeping over at her friend's house. Like, I don't care about boys. So, his friend kind of like pressed the issue, like, oh, why don't you like him? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, he's not my type. So eventually, probably like 6 months goes by and I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll give it a try. All my friends have boyfriends. I'm the only one with no boyfriend. Let me be cool. So, we ended up in a relationship. I would say, sorry, I'm so hot in here. I would say, we were in the relationship for a good 5 years. He was 2 years older than me, so he graduated before me. I started dating him in 9th grade and he was already in 11th grade. So at the time, I thought it was cool. I'm like, oh, I'm a freshman dating a sophomore. Like, this is amazing. I'm so cool. Yeah. Anyways, so it started with like skipping school and you know what teenage girls do. Skipping school. Oh, that's my boyfriend. I love my boyfriend. He's the love of my life. Yeah, okay. Um, Skipping school turned into me getting pregnant with my child. Um, I got pregnant with my child and things were still fine. Like there was no signs of the domestic or none of that. Like I said, I never dated before, so this was my first boyfriend. So if there was signs, I didn't see them. And to this day, I still didn't see them. Um, but yeah, we ended up having a kid. He went away to the army to make a better life for us. So he was away with the army. I was still pregnant with my son when he went to basic training. Um, when I gave birth, he was there. And then he went back to, he was stationed in Fort Bragg in North Carolina. Um, so I was pretty much a single mom. Like he was helping financially, but physically he wasn't there. It was my parents that were helping me. Um, Sorry, I'm saying so much. I'm so camera shy, so this is so hard. But he ended up going to Afghanistan. So I was still like, he was still sending money, but it was so difficult for me trying to go to high school. I was in 12th grade when I had my son. And trying to go to high school and having a kid, and it was just so hard. So I was like, you know what, forget this. I'm dropping out. Like, everybody tried to talk to me. Don't drop out. It's your 12th grade year. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Dropped out, got my GED. He was away in Afghanistan. And I can honestly tell you, the whole time he was away, the whole time he was in the army, I was completely faithful. Like, I didn't talk to any other men. I didn't do any of that stuff. So eventually, I found out he was talking to a girl in the army. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, not cool. Like, you just broke my heart. Like, you're the love of my life. How can you do this? So then after sitting there and him being away and me being in a whole nother state, I'm like, whatever. Like, I'm not going to stress about it. So I started to, what's the word? I started to look other ways, if you must say, like guys talking to me, I've talked to them and I'm just like, whatever, like he doesn't care about the relationship, why should I? So it didn't get to like that far of being in a relationship with another man or even sleeping with another man, but I was talking, I had friends, like, so he ended up going on my phone log and calling all the numbers in my phone log. So he did get a guy's number. Like I said, I was talking to another guy. He did get his number. He called him. He talked to him. He called me, cussed me out. First time we pretty much ever fought. He ever anything. He ever called me out my name. Like, so I was surprised. I was shocked. I was like, oh, maybe I hurt him. Like, I never seen this behavior before. So then, probably like a month or two later, he has this bright idea that he wants to see his child and I should come to North Carolina. So I'm like, okay. Everybody's telling me, don't go, don't go. My mom, everybody, don't go, because they all know the situation that was happening because I talked to them. So me being dumb, or not dumb, but me being not knowing, I'm like, no, I'm going to go. He wants to see his son. He hasn't seen his son. He's been in Afghanistan, blah, 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 blah. So I end up going. When I get there, his facial expressions were just like, he looked like he was going to kill me. So I'm like, oh my gosh. In my head, I'm thinking, this was a mistake. I should have listened. But I'm like, maybe he just like, he's just mad. Like, we'll talk about it. We'll get over it. No. I get in the car and I'm sitting in the passenger seat, not expecting anything. Because like I said, he's never shown this behavior before. And I'm not expecting anything. And he punches me in my face. And I'm like, okay, like, please don't hit me. Like, I don't want to fight you. Like, I don't know what this is for. He's like, oh, you're a B and you're a C and all. I don't want to cuss because this video is public, but calling me out my name pretty much. So I'm like, okay. He's like, so I'm going to pull in the parking lot and you're going to fight me like a man. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, no. And I really don't have a choice. Like, he pulls into the parking lot. It was probably 1 o'clock in the morning. He pulls into the parking lot. There's nobody around. He pulls me out the car. And my heart is beating out of my chest. I am so scared. I don't know what to do. I don't know anybody there. There's nobody around to help me. So we get in a fight, a huge fight. Mind you, my son is in the back seat. He's probably like 6, 7 months old. So we fight, and after the fight, he tells me to get back in the car. I get back in the car, and all I could think of is, I need help. I need somebody to help me. Like, please, God, send help. And my eyes were black. My nose was bleeding. My lip was busted. I was unrecognizable. You couldn't recognize me. If you looked at me then and looked at me now, you couldn't recognize me. So he has this bright idea to go to Walmart. I'm like, I'm not going in Walmart. Look at me. Like, look at my face. I'm not going in there. At this point, I don't have an option. I do not have an option. At this point, it's listen to what I say or I'm just going to keep beating you up. So I'm like, okay, I go into Walmart and I will never forget. We're cashing out and there's a man at another register checking out. He's a customer. He looks at me and his eyes are just like, oh my gosh, like, I wish I can help you. The whole time in the store, my head was down, so nobody could see my face. I know people probably seen it, but my head was down. When I went to cash out, I lifted my head up, and that's when I seen him staring at me. So in my head, I'm screaming, please help, please call the police. Even when we were driving in the car to Walmart, I'm not looking his way. I'm looking out the passenger window. And I'm like, do I scream for somebody to help me? Or do I just sit here silent? Well, I just sat there silent because I was scared if I told somebody to help me, they weren't going to help me. And that was going to make my situation worse. So I sat there silent. I'm like, do I tuck and roll out the car? No, because my kid's in here. I need my kid. I'm not going to leave my kid with the psycho. Okay, so fast forward, in Walmart, we leave. We go to the barracks. When we get to the barracks, he does things to me I don't want him to do. My son is still in the car seat. My son is crying. So I'm trying to soothe my son. As I'm trying to soothe my son, this man takes me and duct taped me to a chair. He taped me to a chair, duct taped my mouth shut.